One of the most heated topics today is the debate of gun control. Gun politics play a huge role in the United States. Gun control activists and gun rights activists have gone head to head at this issue for decades. In light of recent school shootings and gun control movements, this debate has been spiraling all across the United States. Since 2013, according to BBC, there have been more than 300 school shootings in America. That's an average about once a week. Gun rights activists have proposed that college students should be permitted to carry firearms on campus in order to protect themselves. However, allowing firearms on college campuses should not be allowed because it would result in a change of the academic environment, make the campus more unsafe, and overall increase campus violence. The presence of guns on campus would completely change the atmosphere. Attending school each day knowing that anyone could be armed with a deadly weapon can create a hostile and unsafe environment for not only the students but also the employees. It could easily affect how an instructor grades work, interacts with students, or how him or her would present their course materials. The University of San Antonio wrote an article on whether guns should be allowed on campus. And in that article, they stated that a classroom that welcomes deadly weapons is a classroom fueled by fear, which isn't appropriate for an environment that needs to encourage learning, expression of thought, and above all, safety. End quote. Students may withhold their opinions during class discussions for fear of offending classmates, and instructors may feel uncomfortable lecturing to a class of possibly armed students. Secondly, say an active shooting was going on campus. If an armed student were to fire during an active shooting, it could cause confusion instead of resolving the situation. Gun control makes campuses more safe, which is why school shootings, or why most college shootings, actually happen off campus. The Justice Department did a study that showed that between 1995 and 2002, college students between the ages of 18 and 24 experienced 24% less violence than non-college students in the same group. When college students experienced violence, it occurred off campus 93% of the time. Some argue that if guns were allowed on campus, then shootings such as the Virginia Tech shooting and the Columbine shootings would have never happened. However, statistical evidence points in the opposite direction. Schools, including college campuses, exemplify the success of gun control. Though American schools are far deadlier than those of other countries with stricter gun policies, schools located in areas with more strict gun laws are safer than those that lack stringent constraints of guns. Also, allowing firearms on campus would just overall make the campus more unsafe. There's no credible statistical evidence that guns will make campuses safer. In fact, the IACLEA's board of directors believes that carrying concealed firearms on campus would dramatically increase violence on campus. In their study, they stated that one study found that 2/3 of gun-owning college students engage in binge drinking, and gun-owning students are more likely than armed college students to drink frequently and excessively, and then engage in risky activities such as driving while under the influence of alcohol, vandalizing property, and getting in trouble with the police. Another study similarly showed that college student gun owners are more likely than their unarmed peers to engage in activities that put themselves and others at risk for severe life-threatening injuries. Mixing the rampant alcohol culture that is spreading across American colleges and already creating harmful incidents, mixing that with allowing more students to be armed on campus is just a recipe for disaster. Adding guns to the mix would only create more problems. Lastly, it would just be, in conclusion, it would be unwise for lawmakers to allow firearms in a learning environment. The classroom is not a place for weapons. In the case of a school shooting, armed students would only cause more confusion and chaos. With the rise of gun control movements led by students, now is the time for reform. The American people must recognize the unique nature of college campuses and keep guns out of the classroom.